hopefully we will get all day despite the weather forecast of it being slightly possibly rainy. Just waiting for the counter to show. Ah, there we are, lovely. Otherwise I never know if I'm just speaking to myself. So this is Leonie, and in 15 minutes you're going to be on a virtual tour of the River Medway. But for now, let me know how you are, where you are. Hi, Catherine. You will see it's slightly windy because my hair is going to cover my face. So that will be fun walking along. Hopefully you can't hear the wind too much. I have got my muffler on. However, of course, I'm actually crouching down looking at you at the moment. So whether my knees give up before we actually start the tour will be another matter. So, hello, Kathy. Well, Leslie, unfortunately, I love that you're saying hello to Leslie. I wonder if Leslie will actually view the live chat. She probably will. I would, if I was watching the replay, I would turn the live chat on. So, hi, Anne. How are you? How is everybody? It's been a glorious day. Unfortunately, I took an antihistamine tablet, and I think they're making me drowsy. Oh, it's raining in Devon. That's outrageous. I am rather grateful that it's not raining in Maidstone, as I cannot manage the gimbal and an umbrella. Now, what I would say is if you're seeing a little bit of motion, don't worry. I've got you tripoded up. Hi, Susan. So that it's, if you imagine, what can you imagine? If you imagine, oh, that's my bag going, oh, it's all going to be a bit chaotic. So if you imagine an umbrella, how you extend it, that's basically my gimbal is extended. And what that means is obviously it's more susceptible to the force of the wind. So that will be unextended as we're walking round. I did it because I thought it would be easier rather than me hunched down even more. But it is as it is. I do feel like I need to be about 30 years younger for the level of crouching, and indeed 13 minutes of crouch. I'm not sure it's achievable. We will see. We will see until my knees start screaming. So I've had a... Hello, Margaret, not seen you for ages, too busy gallivanting in Cyprus. Well, I dare say that the sun might be Cypriotic, but the level of wind may not be. So yes, I had a chap, and he's very young. Well, I could assume daughter, and I will assume daughter for the purposes of this story, walking along by the river. And he said, we'll walk along the river, but you have to hold my hand. Why? I nearly said, why, Daddy, which would meant obviously that, but I don't think she said, why, Daddy, I think she said, why. And he said, because it's dirty, the river. And she said, why is the river dirty? He said, because it's full of poo-poo. Now, I love conversations like this. They really make my day. She said, there's no, why is there poo-poo? And he said, because people do poo-poo in the river. And I thought, if only these moments were recorded, this very highbrow intellectual conversation. And she said, Daddy, there is no poo-poo in the river. She didn't say, Daddy, I'm trying to foist this father relationship onto them. It could have been her uncle or a grandfather. Just because my insides say it was her father, I'm now recounting a story where she's actually addressing him as father. This is how you create your own truth. Susan's been gardening, so her knees are also going to be a little bit ouchy. Hi, Wendy, David, and of course, David. No, Wendy, David, and of course, Daisy. Saying hello to David twice is just ridiculous, although I would say that Daisy has 3 letters of her human father's name in there, just for added complication. I did do, so last weekend, a little bit of gardening, And I have a lot of creeping buttercup. We've spoken about it before. Well, I have. And I was pulling up from the lawn lots of creeping buttercup. All the grass has died, so it left this beautiful expanse of soil. And the next day, it wasn't a beautiful expanse of soil. It was what I would say is perhaps advertised within the cat world as a very nice litter tray. So that was wonderful. Hello, Trista. How are you? It's lovely to see you all. I hope you are having lovely days. I know time zones mean that for some of you it's the morning, for some of you it's the middle of the day, for some of you it's the afternoon. I don't think I've got anybody who's it's an evening for. I mean, for a few of you it will be 6:20 because of course it is in the UK and you are in the UK and there is only one time zone, thankfully, in the UK. Oh, my knees. Not my niece, that's something else. It was too hot for you, Margaret. Oh, well, I was going to say when did you go, but as it was this month, it was May. I can't remember when I went to, well, obviously I went to Cyprus in October. I did go before and I have no idea what month that was, but Cyprus can indeed be a bit, of course, like an oven. And considering the number of years it's been since I last went, I assume that climate change has also played a part, making it a little bit too scorcho. Were you overdoing it though, Margaret? Were you running around, dancing all the Greek Cypriot dancing? Hello, Janice. I was invited to a Greek night, which unfortunately I immediately thought of food. I thought, oh, that's quite nice. So I said, oh, what's the Greek night? And they said the Greek music. And I was like, oh, I'm not sure. I was too excited about food, olives and feta and yum. Hello, Ronnie. We have got 8 minutes to go. If you've joined late or if you're watching afterwards, the tour proper will start in 8 minutes. I'm trying to be very professional now during my pre-live chats. Oh, and I forgot, we need to say hello to Bob, also known as Emma Braisby, who is unfortunately in hospital at the moment, and apparently the hospital Wi-Fi don't allow her to chat, which will be driving her insane. So, hello, Laurie. Hello, Ginny. Ginny, aren't you in France? Or are you back now? So, hello, Bob. And Bob's been given a mascot of Bob as well. I forget where it's from, which will be annoying Emma now even more, because she will be wanting to tell me where it's from, and she of course can't. Hello. Oh, okay. That's slightly strange. We'll have to keep an eye on that because I haven't done anything. So everything is communicating well. So that's very strange. And may I say, just to add a little bit more spice while I'm I think it's, hello Carolyn, I think it's when Ginny came on. I think it's the Curse of the Guide on board, maybe, to show myself up. But sometimes it could be that the microphone had a funny 5 minutes, but I haven't pulled on it because I am sat where I am. Hello, puppy. So it can't be that. Yes, let's just blame Ginny. Ginny's in France, so she's a long way away and can't come and beat me up. Trista's just fed her starving sourdough starter. Sorry, I was slightly distracted. It sounded like there was a bit of a pigeon fight going on. Please don't talk about food. I haven't actually had my dinner. No, Laurie, there's nothing like an I electrocuted myself story. And unfortunately, I do feel that perhaps these things are happening because I'm now a tour guide. Hello, Casey. Is there anybody I've missed saying hello to out there? Yes, it's giving me lots of material, but I think perhaps a quieter life would also be acceptable. I am hoping to be able to go back to doing some proper sort of history walking tours, or walking tours with a bit of history. Unfortunately, with the frozen shoulder, it does mean that writing is not as easy as it could be, and the lack of sleep means I'm a bit more sleepy than usual. So, just stretching my legs, just stretching my legs. Well, that's it, Laurie. Of course, the debate over electrocution and electrical shock. Somebody, in fact, Natalie did come and say, well, electrocution has to be fatal. And I thought, well, if I had looked online, and I think I just prefer the word electrocution. It sounds far more glamorous. The shot did not help the shoulder. Just to be clear, I wasn't actually shot. I had a steroid injection. Yes, it did. But unfortunately, whereupon I was in agony, I am now in less agony. However, unfortunately, because you can't move your arm a certain... Do you know, Mike, I was just thinking to myself, Mike hasn't come on yet. And there you were. It's like we're in sync. And I've forgotten what I was saying, yes. So now it has helped a jolly lot of jolly. I'm now going to move... See, do you see me blocking out young people? I think that's quite good. Hello, Nancy. Hello, Dawn. Has everybody subscribed? Very good point. Are you all subscribed to my YouTube channel? And if not, why not? Goodness gracious. I think I'm on 607. Hello, Trish. And I actually went up, I think. No, and then I went down to 606 and then went up to 607. Hey, Sue. There you are. You've got about 3 minutes, which is fantastic because 609. Oh, I'm just shooting forward. Unfortunately, YouTube doesn't like you very much if you don't do lots of streams, I don't think. So I haven't really gained that many more subscribers for this year, really. But unfortunately, I also wasn't really doing tours because of the shoulder on ice, as it were, which sounds more glamorous than a frozen shoulder. You're not late. No, Mike, you're not on the naughty step today. I mean, to be fair, I think your attendance, was it last week or the week before, was beyond late. I think you turned up with about a minute to go. So that was absolutely shocking. Laurie's had 3 in the left shoulder. Laurie's been shot 3 times. This is what I would say if I was doing a tour, Laurie. Laurie was shot 3 times in her shoulder. I'm getting pins and needles in my legs, guys, but only 2 minutes to go, which is marvellous. Never have I been so excited to start a tour before. I'm not sure I'll make it, but we're going to try. We've got 2 minutes left, guys, so get all your interesting bits and bobs out the way before we have a look at this beautiful river that actually, although the chat is blocking it for me, and I appear to have actually parked just by a wonderful sort of set of grasses, but yeah, it's looking really pretty, and there's some boats, and it's going to be absolutely marvellous. Yesterday I went to Yalding. And I've not been to Yalding, well, I've been to Yalding once before, I think other times I've just driven through it. And I thought, let's do a little bit of signal testing. I was in a beautiful meadow and I was walking along and so I thought, I think I'd better stop because it looks like there's a drop. And there was a big drop, and then it went into quite a deep drop to the river. So I was quite pleased that I hadn't done my usual bound splash. My pussycats, well, Baloo's been monitored because of weight loss. Apollo's had poorly paws. Peachy is just the annoying naughty Peach. And everybody else I think is fine. Somebody did walk past earlier actually, and their dog was called Milo. So I wondered if he peed on things too. And we have 1 minute to go. 1 minute to go. And I'm trying to work out if that was anything I should be worrying about on YouTube, but no, I think that's fine. It is a very big naughty step because it needs to seat quite a few voyagers every now and then. So, oh, thank the Lord for small mercies. It's now 1:30. Right, well, that's annoying. That's the second time that's happened. So let's see whether or not putting you back into your the extender will help matters. So, hello, welcome. I'm Leonie. We are now about to start our tour. We're actually in Tovel, which is Maidstone. We're actually in Tovel Green, which is a sort of, there's Tovel Green, there's Tovel Mill, and there's Tovel. People do like to say they come from Tovel Green or Tovel Mill, and the reason for that is, unfortunately, there used to be historically a bit of kind of, shall we say, negative press about Tovel. However, here is a beautiful place, and hopefully we won't run into any problems. So I'm going to turn round, flip the camera, and show you what I am looking at, which, quite frankly, I can hear a quack. And I think, no, this is annoying me now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to turn my gimbal off and restart it. So bear with me, because it's going to go all funny and then restart. Right. And hello, Nikki. Hopefully that's going to stop that nonsense, because there's not much really else I can do, if I'm honest. I've not had oh, look at me. Hello, sorry, they might think I'm waving at them, and really I'm waving at you, so that could be a little bit embarrassing. So there you are, you've got my marvellous shadow. Let's just take a minute to enjoy this beautiful view. Now, just beyond here, is actually a train line. And not sure if you can hear that. However, oh, there's the sun. However, that is an ice cream van. I'm not sure that severe gimbal problems are catching, but I saw they had issues as well. I'm hoping it was just, now I've restarted, is working. Oh, well, that answered that one then, didn't it? Okay. Now, my one concern is that the gimbal is actually broken. So, right. Trying to fix a gimbal whilst holding a gimbal is not the easiest. Right. Not had these problems in a long time, so if it happens again, I'm going to have to shut everything down, throw myself in the river, and see what happens. Do you mean duct tape, Tina? Get a bit of duct tape out. And hello, Tina. I'm very much hoping I don't need a new gimbal, Cheryl, because, yes, well, let's hope it's just a... Oh, hello, Linda. Well, you haven't missed anything, because I've been fighting with my gimbal. So, I seem to be trying to outrace a duck at the moment. Not sure if you could see him. I'm not going to start talking, or rather, I'm not going to start telling you the story until we've been through this Lovely garden that we like to look in. And it looks like we've been a bit spoilt with some flowers. Aren't these wonderful? I wasn't expecting these. They're beautiful. What are these then? So that's a lily, that one. But the purple one, it's a clematis, is it?
Yes.
Oh! Oh, I say, as if... are you the lady that manages this space?
Yes.
Well, so I'm doing a YouTube at the moment.
Oh, sorry.
No, I've been through here before and we absolutely adore it. So it's lovely to meet you.
Hi.
So do you, is this, you own this,
Yes.
this space then, and then you maintain it?
Yes.
And it's such a wonderful thing for the community to be able to walk down and enjoy it. I love it. And we do enjoy looking at your gnomes as well.
Right, yes, some of them are still at home, but they'll be coming out soon.
Oh right, you take them in for the winter, do you?
Yeah,
So they
paint them. Usually the ones that need painting. Yeah.
So how long have you done this?
About 15 years now.
15. Gosh. And are the pigeons yours as well? Oh, they're
Doves.
doves. Sorry, I meant to
right.
say doves.
Yes.
As soon as I said pigeons, I knew it was a dove.
They're fan-tailed doves.
Fan-tailed. What's the difference?
I don't know, they just have the tails running the way you can see now, because they're all mating.
Oh, are they all having naughty business?
Well, this is it.
Well, we've
There
got...
are a few pigeons.
So I've got people on stream at the moment. They're from America, Canada, UK, and they've said, tell her thank you for us. I really enjoy it when we walk through. Call you garden guardian lady.
Oh,
We call it the fairy garden. It's so lovely to
it's
see.
on Google.
Is it, sorry?
Yes, it's on Google, Elaine's Fairy Garden.
Elaine, so you must be Elaine then?
Yes.
Are you happy to be on camera?
Well, I just haven't had my hair done and I'm not dressed really.
You're fine, it's up to you. I never put anybody on camera. Right, I think people would like to meet you.
Oh, hello.
So everybody wave.
Hi.
They're saying hello, Elaine.
Oh, that's so sweet, yes.
So yeah, no, it's splendid.
Yes,
So
it's not quite like this on Google because I don't know how long ago they took the pictures and that, so things changed all along.
oh well, you can look me up. What is my what's my YouTube? What is Leonie on Tour? I think I should know this, shouldn't
Right.
I? Yes, and
I get my daughter, because I'm not actually on YouTube. I get my daughter to look it up.
yeah, no, definitely. So why did you decide to set this up?
Oh, because we had a boat.
Yeah,
And my husband wanted some mooring.
Yeah.
And we looked up on Google and found this little bit of land.
yeah,
Was owned by the railway.
Yeah.
There used to be a railway line going right across.
yeah,
Because this used to be a big paper mill in
yes,
Cobble. And so this little bit of land belonged to the railways. So
Yeah.
we just approached the railways and they put it up for auction and we bought it.
oh, that's
And
wonderful.
yes, and then it was like across there, it was absolute brambles, and we had to get a tractor in and things, and we made a mooring here. But then, sadly, my husband died 9 years ago, so we had a boat, but we sold the boat.
Yeah.
And I just continue with the gardens, and friends just moor their boats up here.
Oh, that's wonderful. And so, firstly, I should say, they've quite reminded me, my YouTube link is Leonie Kent. See, I don't even know my own YouTube link. And why the doves then?
We just started with 4.
And then they bred.
Yeah, and then 2 went back to Hastings. We got them
Right.
from Hastings. And this is the result of just 2 doves.
And they come and go as they
Oh, they're
please.
free.
Yeah,
they're free.
they just decide that they
come
want
back for
to.
night and feed. And some come back and feed and then go off somewhere else.
So what will you do when you have lots and lots of doves? Because they're all choosing.
Actually, they organise themselves.
Oh, they do.
Because, yes, they haven't got enough nesting boxes for them all. So now they do go away
Yeah.
and nest, I don't know, trees or Maidstone or somewhere else, and just come back for food in the evening.
It is. And so you're on Google. So if we put in Elaine's garden,
Yes,
We
Elaine's
can-
Fairy Garden, Maidstone.
How
I think that's what it is.
fabulous. Thank you so much. This has been a delight, because the number of times I've walked along here separately and obviously on YouTube and seen this and wondered. Yes, so thank you very much.
What was your...
So my name is Leonie Kent, on YouTube, and it's called How I Electrocuted Myself. Well, this is the tour. So the nature of the tour is telling them how I electrocuted myself. But now we've stopped and done Fairy Garden, which is very exciting. So yeah,
so nice.
So lovely. So thank you very much, and I shall say hello to your doves on the way down.
Do that. They've just been fed, so they've probably gone down back home now into roost. You see some sitting on the bridge.
Oh.
They're nesting actually on the bridge. There's little holes at the other side. You see them, and they're actually nesting in the little holes.
Oh, how wonderful! Thank you.
No problem. Lovely meeting you.
You too. Take care. Bye bye. Now, my gimbal went again. Which is enough to make you... Oh, these of course are the big... God, now. Of course, all the flowers are out, so it's looking wonderful, isn't it? I mean, this is certainly a labour of love, isn't it? Oh, look. I'm going to sniff that. I'm terribly sorry none of you can see me. It's not sorry, none of you can... I was going to say none of you can sniff it, but... Oh, it smells actually almost like a sweet. So I was slightly distracted by the doggy. Try not to annoy said doggy. And here we are, the doves. Hello, fan-tailed doves. Linda, if you share the link in my Facebook group, which of course is Leonie on Tour. So there you are. Oh, look at these. Oh, right, that's it. I'm sorry, guys. You're going to have to close your eyes, because if this is going to happen the whole time, I'm going to have to take everything apart. I mean, I'm such a drama queen. I don't have to take everything apart, but I do have to turn my gimbal off. I'm going to take my phone off the gimbal, and I'm going to put my finger in front just to be really, really clever. You're going to look at that for a minute, which is nothing basically. I don't know if it's whether or not although this one won't be one for replay, will it? Got more fingers and thumbs. Oh, I know what else I was going to do. I was going to turn my Bluetooth on and off. I've got grit all over my fingers now. That's joyful. Right, let's try again. Come on, annoying phone. Boop. Right then. Is everybody still alive after all that? Hello, and they're having a bit of naughty time at the moment. Hello, Mr. and Mrs. Dove. Yes, you naughty. You're very naughty. Which explains why I was, now, not being funny, is that a fan-tailed dove masquerading? Oh. Right, let's move on, shall we? Let's talk about me. So apologies for all the technical issues. I really hope that I don't have to apologise anymore, because if I do, it means they continue. And there's nothing else really I can do. Although I think I said that last time, there really is nothing else I can do. So last Sunday, as those of you who are in my YouTube group, and indeed those who read the explanation for today will know, that I managed to electrocute myself. I started the day quite nicely. I went round to see my next door neighbour, and I gave her a hand because she has hops growing. One day I'll talk to you about hops, no doubt. For those who went to the Lavender Castle farm, they actually also sell hops, and they were growing a bit wild. So I stood by the ladder so she could actually do what she needed to and didn't hurt herself. The irony. Ah, very nice. Got a little person in front of me, so we might stay here just for a bit. And then I actually went up a ladder because what I noticed is that I had ivy growing up the side of my house from their property. And the trouble is with ivy, it really gets into the kind of sorry, the little one is bouncing up and down on the bridge, and I'm not sure whether or not that's going to be coming through on the stream. Oh, that's really sad. Elaine's pet doves were shot with a catapult last year. Well, unfortunately, that doesn't surprise me. People can be quite cruel. So I went up a ladder, and to do that, I had to negotiate past this kind of bolt that was sticking out. It was a rusty bolt, and I kept saying, "Oh my goodness, this is, let's hope I don't damage myself. Otherwise, that would be quite an injury." I mean, the irony. I was up and down a tall ladder, and the ladder itself was a tall ladder, and the safe way was actually for my neighbour to be actually holding the base of the ladder. So obviously something that you needed to be mindful of, but I got out of it unscathed. And then what happened was the light in the bathroom, you've got the pull light. Now there is a bit of low signal just as I go down the bottom, so if you lose me, don't worry, that isn't unexpected. I will return. And it stopped pinging. So if you imagine, I'm not sure if abroad you have these light switches. I'm assuming you do. It's a bit of string, plastic pull. You pull it, the light goes on. You pull it, the light goes on, off. It's not rocket science. Anyway, it didn't matter what amount of pulling you did, the light wasn't going on. And so I checked the fuses, the fuse box, turn them off, turn them on. No, it didn't seem to work. So what I thought I would do is I thought I would see whether or not there was anything obvious by removing the outer round white plastic casing. And when you remove the white round plastic casing, what you can see is there is something else that you can remove that you need to unscrew. So I thought what I'll do is I'll unscrew it and I'll take a photograph of it to send to my electrician, unless it's glaringly obvious. because it was a Sunday, of course, so couldn't get in hold of my electrician. So as I unscrewed it, it all popped out, fell on the floor. There's a couple of screws, there's a bit of copper and everything else. And I thought, well, that's absolutely pointless. I'm not going to be able to take a photo of that. I'm not even sure how it all goes back together. So I thought what I'll do is I'll pop it back in and then I'll just wait for Monday. So I went to pop it back in. And at this stage, I electrocuted myself. And I have had electric shocks before. I'm sure we all have. You know, if you're getting a little bit of a, you know, walking on carpet and then suddenly touch something, you get a little spark. This was not like that. This went through my entire body. And as ridiculous as it is to say, the overriding feeling was shock. Because you suddenly realise that you've done something incredibly stupid and you could have hurt yourself. So I sat down and I thought to myself, right, well, what I need to do is I need to phone the NHS. So in the UK, you have a 24-hour service. You can phone the NHS if you need to, obviously, for things like this. So I thought I'll do that. But of course, interestingly enough, I was thinking to myself, there's 101 and there's 111. Oh, hello, birdie. Oh, bye, that's rather antisocial. Didn't I? Without, because it wasn't really an arrestable offence. And so went through set questions. Now, bear in mind, it's been a gorgeous day. I've been in the sun. One of the questions is, oh, the NHS is a National Health Service. Yes, it is. And one of the questions is, are you hot to touch? Well, yes, I am hot to touch. I said, I've been out all day. And in actual fact, I said, I'm quite hot and sweaty. I'm not sure if she needed the additional information, but she got it. You know, is there a chance that you're pregnant? Well, I would like to think if I was pregnant, I wouldn't be stupid enough. Look at these. To be jumping to fix eating. Don't need to worry. Don't do it again. And she said, within 4 hours, you have to go to an urgent care facility. Oh, right. Wasn't expecting that. I said, well, where are they? And she said, there's one, your nearest one would be in Maidstone Hospital. Right, splendid, of course it would be. So I thought, well, like the present, this is, oh no, I was thinking this is the, yes it is, the sticky stuff. The sticky stuff, bane of my life. Gets caught around the cats. So it's very close to me, Barming. It's embalming really, or so close to Barming it might as well be embalming. And so off I drove, thinking to myself, I wonder whether or not I should be driving, but I've got nobody else to drive me. They look like bats hanging upside down. So I thought, right, what I ought to probably do is I probably ought to phone my sister and let her know. At which point then I thought, that's very interesting. I don't appear to have my phone. So then I had to turn around to go back and get my phone, which of course, considering my previous thought of should I be driving, I thought actually, well, if I shouldn't be, let's mean that I'm doing it for even longer than necessary. but actually it looked quite quiet, so I was at that. So you go to, you are greeted by somebody, and she said, so why are you here? And I said the stronger worded version of I'm a twit, which she found quite amusing. It's probably not the first time that I've either been that, or indeed that she's heard it potentially. And so I had to wait. And I'll tell you a minute later what they said on the form. So a man comes to stand next to me. Are the signals going in and out? Is it? Unfortunately, the signal should be absolutely fine here. But I can see that signal isn't absolutely fine here. So this is marvellous. Can anybody hear me? Signal's just getting worse and worse. But we're on 5G, so how does that work? It doesn't work, does it? I'm walking along talking to myself, not sure if anybody can hear me. I'm losing people. Great. Life is fine. Oh, right, well, thank you. I'm just talking away to myself because this route is absolutely fine. We've got 5G, and there's absolutely no reason why we should be losing signal. So this is splendid. But I can see numbers have dipped quite during that, so I'm guessing that their signal was quite potentially rubbish. So thank you for letting me know. I may have to try the old Prism because again the signal's going down again and it's full 5G. Interesting. Interesting is in a kind of not interesting at all. So I'm in the hospital and there's a chap there next to me with a bandaged finger, and I said to him, is that self-inflicted? He went, yes. He said, I was doing some fencing, he said, and I had a sledgehammer. I've forgotten the other tool he said he had, but basically it cut his finger to the bone. So I did wonder to myself whether or not they do any statistics about how many self-inflicted due to stupidity, as opposed to how many accidents that there's a jolly good reason for having an accident, or by the very nature of it, you know, an accident is something that could be avoided. I've got a ready brick glow around me, which will only work for those who know the ready brick advert.
Great scenery, am I right? Cool.
So, first off, I went to see a practitioner assistant, and I went into his room and he's got fabulous stickers on the wall, which are obviously for the kids, but considering I'm a little bit feeling like a fool and don't particularly like medical situations, I was quite pleased with them. So there was Nemo on there, I think there was Dory, there was some other stickers all up the wall. I think he said he'd prefer some darker stickers, but I'm not entirely sure I understood. So he sounded slightly American-Canadian or Canadian-American. He sounded like them from that neck of woods. So I said, where's your accent from? And he said, from the Philippines. And I was like, okay, was not expecting that. He was a lovely chap. And then the consultant came in and he asked me some questions. It was a very, something about, he said to the chat practitioner assistant, he said, should we be looking at a red chair? And I thought, is that code? Is that dangerous? Am I going to die? Because obviously that's where my mind would go. But obviously not, because I didn't. And he said, I'd like you to get some bloods done as well, just to be on the safe side. I was like, tickety-boo. He said there'll be a 2-hour wait for the results. That's not particularly tickety-boo, but quite frankly, it's my own fault. I can't really complain, and I do want to have a proper checkout. So the consultant left, and I had my blood pressure taken, my temperature, I was 36.5. He said it should be between 36 and 37, so I thought I'd done really well. My heart rate, he got these little discs out to do my ECG, the pads. And what's really interesting is if you go to your GP, you're not really allowed to have anything done without a chaperone. When you're in A&E, you stick it up. And anyway, very quick. I said to him, how long will it take? And by then he said, well, it's actually done. I was like, oh, that's a little disappointing. I expected a little bit longer. And I said to him, so it's all good then, is it? And he said, well, I can't tell you. The consultant has to tell you that. He said, even my wife came in and I wouldn't be able to tell her. I wonder if his wife had electrocuted herself. So, and during that time, somebody else had come in, another nurse, and asked something. And it was all getting very complicated. And I'm sure he actually said at one point, I'm not sure what I'm doing anymore. And I was like, well, if you're not sure what you're doing, that doesn't bode well for me. But he was a lovely chap, and off I went into reception to wait for my blood test. To wait for my blood test. I thought, goodness gracious, it's 2 hours after I've had it. But they didn't say how long it would be until I actually had it. So he popped his head out and I said, will it be soon? He said, well, the nurse has been called to the ward. And I thought, doesn't sound very good. So I started chatting to a woman who was sat further along. And as you do, we bonded. We had a fabulous conversation. We were both waiting for our blood tests. And she had a pain on her side, and the nurse had said to her, what would you like to get from today? Which we both thought was an incredibly strange question. To be fixed? To get answers? So, amazingly, we have a telly. We've got a telly in A&E. And it's deal or no deal. Now, I know those of you in the UK will know what deal or no deal is. But basically, there's about 20 boxes. And within each of them, they've got a sum of money from 10p to £150,000. You're giving your box. And basically, you'll be given offers by the banker for what boxes are left. So on the blue, it's all the little sums. And on the red, it's all the big sums. So if you've got, say, towards the end, a box of 150,000 and 50,000, you're going to get a nice offer for your box because he knows you've got a lot of money. Well, unfortunately, she wasn't doing very well. And this was actually quite gripping. So we were then talking about this deal or no deal. Well, it was quite lucky because she got £1,800 from a £1 box. Now, during this, it is an old programme, but it's been relaunched. Was Noel Edmonds, and now it's not Noel Edmonds. So, interestingly enough, while we were watching it, we got to a gripping point, and the nurse comes out and calls a name, which the lady I'm talking to has told me her name, and it doesn't sound anything like her name, but she said, yes, it's me, and off she went. Well, that was very strange, but She came back. I said, was it you? She said, no. She said, I went in there. I said, did you call? And the nurse said no, so she left again. So I found that incredibly amusing because it's the sort of thing I would do. And she missed, of course, the excitement. So by now, the practitioner's come out. He's seen us chapping. He said, you're besties now. And my new friend says, we're blood twins. I've never been a blood twin before. But yes, I've got a blood twin now. I've no idea. I doubt very much I'll ever see her again, to be fair. Now we've moved on to Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, which I'm sure you all know. And interesting questions. Lady won £32,000, which, considering the last person won £1,800, seems very, very much better to apply for Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. And there's a question. Which of these is a fish? And I'm going to test you now. Don't think you're just sitting there quietly. Right, which of these is a fish? And if you wait for me to read all four of them out. A Portuguese man of war, a seahorse, a scallop, or an octopus? Answers now. So Dawn thinks it's the Portuguese man of war. Susan thinks it's a seahorse. Catherine thinks it's a seahorse. Now, I'll be honest, I was actually Googling the answers because I couldn't bear the tension. Now, this chap, he actually rang his friend Stephen, and his friend said to him, it's a Portuguese man of war. And he seemed fairly certain, about 70%, I think. So obviously you do the phone a friend at this juncture, because he was up to 16,000. You're not going to waste that on a 70%. So then he asked the audience. Now, of course, if you're asking the audience after they've already been given a potential answer, which one do you think they're going to select? So he said Portuguese man of war, and the number of people, well, it was massive. Portuguese man of war was selected, so that's the one he went for, and he lost £15,000 because it isn't a Portuguese man of war. It's a seahorse. A seahorse is a fish. Unless you see a horse in the sea, that's just a wet horse. A Portuguese man of war is a marine hydrosan. A scallop and an octopus, they're both mollusks. And then, of course, to make me feel like I was in an alternative universe, we come up with the next question, which is, what is also known as a wrench? And of course the answers are a spanner, so immediately I'm thinking of Claire, a screwdriver, a chisel, or a saw. Now, the contestant was blind, so I assume, don't even go there. Sorry, just me abusing my gimbal. So, I'm assuming, as she said, that she doesn't really do a lot of DIY. So she had to use up quite a lot of her lifelines to find out that, of course, it's a spanner. Unfortunately, halfway through, what trees are these big ones? They are big trees. I want to say oak because they're so large, but I imagine that I'm probably wrong. I am well known for my lack of knowledge on trees, but they are absolutely beautiful. And I like the knobbly trunks, and we're coming up to a nice knobbly trunk here. Isn't that wonderful? Hey, that's a different one to the other one. So, you know, you could tell me anything. Ah, look, can you see the... Oh, for goodness sake. I have no idea what's going on with my gimbal. I am slightly concerned it's broken. But I shall have a play when I get home. The problem being that I have to have the case on because the back of the phone is smashed. And there's little bits of scratchiness. So we got lots of different ideas. We could have a sycamore, an elm, a beech, a lime, a banana. It wouldn't matter if I ID'd trees, I'd forget within 5 minutes what it was. I've actually got a book on trees. I've got a book on birds, but you have to read them and remember them. Unfortunately, or fortunately for my newfound bestie, my blood twin, she got her blood results back, whereupon they found out she had an infection, she needed antibiotics, and was going to be referred for an ultrasound. So off she trotted. And I thanked her because the time, by now being about 3 hours, had passed very nicely, thank you very much, while we were talking away. And I sat there, and then there are so many children in A&E. I've now got a child who apparently who's damaged her toe, who's bouncing around a lot. I've got another child who is vomiting really badly but choking as she does so, which I'll be honest, I had the audio version and it's as distressing as it sounds. So I went back to the front desk at this point. Now I've lost my blood twin because I'm actually thinking, I want to go home now. It's gone 9 o'clock. The cats need feeding. I need feeding. And she was like, oh, I can't really find you. And those are the words that you think, oh, it's not funny, is it? What do you mean you can't find me? I'm here and I haven't been seen. What's going on? Anyway, at this stage, I thought I saw somebody I knew. But it's out of... no. So it's out of, obviously, context. So you're like, oh, well, where do I know her from? Of course, it was from the RSPCA. And then, of course, by the time I worked out who it was, she'd gone into another room. But while I'm standing talking to this woman at reception, she comes up and she noticed me. I said, hello, how are you? As you do, you know. I don't think I was that bouncy. She said, what are you here for? I said, well, I've electrocuted myself. She said, oh, you couldn't do anything normal, could you? Oh, I think somebody's just been to the toilet, and I do hope that I didn't catch it on video, but as I haven't got my glasses, and when I say somebody, I mean a small child. I probably would have noticed more if it was an adult. So that was interesting. And then she said to me, are you wearing your pyjamas? Which, of course, I found utterly hysterical not, because I'm wearing these very baggy kind of trousers. My friend bought them when she went to Sri Lanka, and I'm wearing a loose-fitting top. I said, no, I'm not wearing my pyjamas. And then I thought to myself, does everybody in A&E think I'm wearing pyjamas? But that wasn't my overriding thought. My overriding thought is that when I've been down to see my sister, she had actually said to me, just before we went out, she said, well, we'll go out as soon as you get dressed. And I gave her the evil eye and said, I am dressed. And now I'm thinking all this time I'm walking around and people think that I'm wearing my pyjamas. Well, I say, that's the face of my next boyfriend. This is a new art exhibition, etc., which I will be showing you guys at some point. So on Millionaire, he lost 15k. So he went away with 1,000, which is more than he started with, but he was absolutely gutted, obviously. So the form that 111 had written was electric shock from light switch, forgot to turn the power before messing with the switch. Now it's really interesting because I didn't use the words messing with the switch, so I could take umbrage at that. The problem did not result from a suicide attempt. I thought, does that happen? Do you try to commit suicide by electrocuting yourself? I would suggest very much don't. Now, the reason that I had the blood test taken is because they test for a protein, troponin. It's released into the bloodstream when the heart muscle is damaged, which is absolutely fantastic that they checked that out. Now, it's used to help an assessment following a suspected heart attack. Well, I was eventually called by the consultant who advised me that my troponin levels were absolutely fine. He said, to be honest, when I saw you, he said, I knew you were going to be fine, or I thought you were going to be fine, but better safe than sorry. And I said, well, thank you for that. I too am pleased. Better safe than sorry. Now, the ECG is an electrocardiogram which measures the electrical activity of your heart, because every heartbeat produces tiny electrical impulses, which I wasn't aware of. So my second ECG, I can't remember what the first one was for. It certainly wasn't after anything stupid. So after 3.5 hours, I was able to go. He apologised for the wait. I said absolutely not. It was completely my own fault. And he said we treat everybody the same, which is nice. Now, the target at Maidstone Accident and Emergency is for 95% of patients to be seen, treated, admitted or discharged in 4 hours or less. So, as a statistic, I was successful. There was 16 million going to the major hospital A&E and 9 million at minor units, and that's across the accident emergency in the UK per year, which is absolutely mammoth. 16 million and 9 million. Whether or not, I suppose, to be fair, they're the same people admitting themselves because they keep electrocuting themselves is something else entirely. So I did a bit of research, and in 2022, contact with electricity or electrical discharge is one of the leading causes of fatal workplace injury in the UK, and that's by Statista. Worldwide, 1.2 million people have an electrical accident related injury per animal. Per animal? Per per year. Not per animal. That's because I'm thinking PA, per annum. That view is, I can never get enough of this view, if I'm honest with you, which is why I bring you back. Of course, lots of those, yeah, I wanted to say per year, because I didn't think annum is going to be as understandable for my non-English speaking friends. Or rather, my friends that don't have English as a first language. I'm not sure I'm any English speaking anymore. Now, over 1,000 electrical related accidents are reported to the Health and Safety Executive per annum, 30 of which were fatal. Faulty electrical equipment and sockets, 350 injuries and 70 deaths in the UK per annum. It may be Latin, Mike, but it may be that other countries aren't using the terminology. I never like to make assumptions. Now, it's obvious that I'm in good company. And here we are, looking at All Saints Church. Now, electrical incidents, of course, can lead to house fires. Electricity is the biggest contributor to accidental fires. Per annum, it's 19,300. And this could be down to microwaves, cookers, laundry appliances, lighting, portable heating, TVs. So the fire, when it's current, fire happens when the current ignites flammable materials. Now, lots of dangers, and Dawn's mum drilled through a wire and blew up the drill. Yes, exactly. Fake electrical products can be a danger. Your fuse box, old fuse box, not working. The fuses in the plugs, faulty wiring, overloading your sockets, naked cords damaged plugs, drilling into walls, Dawn's mum. Water and electricity, as we know, doesn't work well. Now, an electric shock is the current flowing through the body. It travels to the nearest earth source. A mild is tingling, moderate muscles contract, which means you can actually hold on to what's giving you the electric shock. And of course, severe is sadly death. Now, electrical burns is where shock causes tissue to burn, and that can actually be internal burns, internal tissues burns. And so we identified, fortunately from my visit, that I was absolutely fine. The light was replaced by the electrician this week. He said, obviously it's slightly older. There's no point trying to repair something like that. There's newer, better versions. And he did send me a video on WhatsApp, which is the best way to do DIY for electrical issues is don't. Which is a lesson, I think, that I would like to share with you. A lesson I have learnt. And at the time when I had the electrical shock, Nikki's friend died of electrocution after spilling coffee on an extension plug on her floor that she tried to unplug. This is it. I mean, you don't realise just how we take so much for granted, I think. I know I sort of just, I mean, I obviously knew I meant to unplug. I meant to turn the fuse off, turn the electric off at the fuse box, but I completely forgot. I turned it off, turned it back on, and completely forgot. And I think when I felt that buzz through me, and I said to the consultant, it almost felt like it shocked my heart. But what he said to me is quite possibly, look at those little duckies, quite possibly what happened is it caused my muscle to contract. Because of my frozen shoulder, I was lifting up using my left hand. He also said as a result, obviously, of wearing shoes was a good thing. If I had had just feet or wet feet, that would have been a different story. So very grateful for it not being worse. Thank you, Anne, for the tip. That's very much appreciated. Thank you to those that are able to support me in my endeavours. And if you enjoyed the video, please like it. I can only apologise again for the numerous issues that we've had with the gimbal and losing the signal, unfortunately. Perhaps it was just a little bit of a low point. Matthew, you've actually joined just as we're pretty much wrapping up. I hope you're enjoying the view. I just now we've got a couple of options. I wrap up now, or I take you for a little walk back, as I will indeed be walking back all the way to my car. It's nice to see you again, Matthew. It's been a long, long time. Now, walking into the sun, so I've got this amazing scrunched up face as I don't have any sunglasses. So that will last while we wander along this bridge. Well, Susan, thank you for saying I'm unique. We all are, aren't we? You can't make another one. Now then, which is the, no, that would be the better way. So I'm having a conversation with myself. Fortunately, the fuse box is fairly new, so the fuse box itself should be tickety-boo. But it does come down to operator error, of course. That's strange, is it? I think somebody must have picked those up because, oh, those were those flowers I saw earlier, but now not attached. In fact, they've come from there. Or some people might call me special as well, Nikki. I actually was looking at some websites earlier today investigating, you know, researching the whole electrical incidents. And there were a couple of examples of death by electrocution that I would have done better not reading about. And it's really interesting, these things that you just suddenly, within a few seconds, do something and you think to yourself, I could have killed myself. That would have been the end. I called my sister and I let her know, and she was untroubled. Well, hello, Mr. Blackbird. She was untroubled because I confess she did it herself 3 to 6 months ago. Slightly different. She was changing the light bulb in a standard lamp, and she'd unplugged the light bulb, was putting it back in, and apparently did something, gave herself a big electric shock, and of course she did nothing about it. My father was with her at the time, and I remember when she told us on the family WhatsApp, you know, sister jumps in, oh, by the way, just to let you know. And I was absolutely aghast. I told her off. How could she be so silly? Don't do it again. And here was I. Thank you, Matthew. It does. I thank you. Yes, a book is the same as a coffee. I must admit, I do need you guys to tell me what else would be slightly more interesting than saying buy a book. Because I don't actually buy any more books because I have so many books that I can't, don't have the time to read anymore. It's generally vet fees, but that's not very exciting, is it? And it doesn't work. Buy a vet? That would never work. I couldn't afford a vet. I mean, it would be very handy if I had one. Well, no, I love books, Linda, but I don't have the time. So, buy pet insurance. Buy an ice cream. Oh, I do like ice cream, actually. Buy a TARDIS. Buy a cat. No, got plenty of cats. Sometimes I surprise myself. Oh, look, there's another one, and they're all mine. Buying ice cream isn't a bad idea, but I couldn't, you know, I shouldn't. I'm meant to be losing weight because, spoiler alert, but I will be going on holiday at some point to Zante, and you will all be coming with me. Well, whoever joins will be coming with me. Have you ever been to Zante? Linda wants me to sit on the toilet for 10 minutes every day and read. I get the most fabulous suggestions from you guys. And unfortunately you can't buy Zante, so Zakynthos, also known as Zante, which is Z-A-N-T-E. It's a Greek island. It's the annual departure of my sister, my niece and I, slightly later. Usually we went on May half term, but Amy's had her A-level exams. She hasn't, she has. So I was correcting myself and then uncorrecting myself. She's not finishing her A-level exams until early June, so it's actually been a bit of a blessing in some ways because it's incredibly expensive to go away over half terms. So Nikki, if you know where Greece is, which you probably don't, it's near there. Ah, we could have the ZZ debate. Zebedee, Zante. It wouldn't be Zinti. So I'm hoping I will be able to take you on a tour at least while I'm there. Obviously dependent on signal, gimbal, shoulder, etc, etc. I lived in Tovel Green for how many years? Nearly 7 years. And the path wasn't really, it was just kind of a little bit of a, I would say mud path, but only when wet, otherwise it would have just been dry mud, which is of course soil. But now, of course, it's been tarmacked over and is lovely. Nikki's a biblical archaeologist, good Lord. Pardon the pun. Well, you can expect lovely travel videos all you like, Natalie. Linda. You can expect lovely travel videos like Natalie all you like, Linda. I'll tell you what, by the end of this journey, I might actually have got out the sentence I was looking for. And there's a doggy with something to say for itself. I've wanted to go to Zante for many years now. It's got a spectacular, if you look up, Nikki, you'll see one of the images you will see, or anybody if you look it up will see, is this stunning beach. This beautiful sandy beach in a cove. That obviously isn't why I want to go. My one concern is, as you know, with the animal welfare issues. Sometimes when you go to the Greek islands you can end up with a lot of stray cats. So it will be very interesting to see what the situation's like over there. When I go abroad, I like to find a local rescue and then donate. I have had acknowledgement of the donation we made for the Moroccan woofers. So we managed to, all clubbing together, neuter 5 dogs, which is absolutely wonderful. And we have got a little thanks. It is looking beautiful, isn't it, today? The weather forecast was literally potentially going to rain today, and I just thought the number of tours I've gone, oh, I'm not going to do because it's raining, and then it hasn't, or I just thought I'm just going to do it, and I'm glad I did. So I have a Greek Cypriot in my house. I do not need any more Greek anything cats. I actually had a contact of somebody who did rescue out on in Corfu, then somebody else who did, I think it's the island of Simos or something. Thank you, Sue. Glad you enjoyed it. I'm excited to be able to show you yielding. What I might do is, I did do signal testing for the, while I was walking around, but what I might do is I might do a member only, or anybody who's desperate to join, wander around to check on the signal. So you'll get a bit of a heads up without any of the information behind it. Although saying that, all the places that are meant to be absolutely splendid, like here, which is full 5G, we still had those issues today. Unfortunately, technology does like to let us down somewhat, which is rather frustrating. So I'm in Maidstone, Kent. And I would say that East Farleigh is, funnily enough, one of the first places I was going to show you. It's where I slipped when I was doing my first kind of signal test. And unfortunately, the signal, not a sausage, not even a chipolata. So that's very disappointing. Because I will do a video, I think, but I've got now a few videos of places that I want to show you, and I've never got round to deciding how to show you. So, well, we've got a lot of nettles at the moment. I don't think we've ever seen the foliage quite so high on one of my walks before. So it'll be interesting to see whether or not they're going to do anything about that, because of course one of the joys of a walk by the river is that you actually get to see the river.
Had several.
It's a lovely sound of the wind rustling through the trees to my left, which I know won't come through on stream. Wind, unfortunately, is one of those really annoying noises when you're watching a virtual tour, but that sounds actually quite nice. I've taken you to Morocco, I've taken you to Egypt, and I've taken you to Croatia. And of course, to England. Amusingly enough, I know you all remember where I've taken you better than I do, so I won't even try and tell you. Thank you, Casey, Margaret, Matthew, Carolyn, someone. I know who the someone is. Balsam bashing, nettle bashing. I like that. I think that looks quite nice. And can you tell how they've obviously not been able to get right to the top of it? Well, I've got a little bit of an exciting story. I'm actually going to be staying at the Mermaid Inn with a friend of mine. So that will be later in the year. Aren't they pretty? Oh, Mike, I have nettles in my front garden that I have left very happily because the bees do enjoy a nice taste. Well, Casey, how strange that you would know I'm staying in the most haunted room. Dr. Sin's bedchamber. Oh, there's music, quick, tra-la-la-la-la-la-la-la, just in case YouTube blocks. I had a short, which was a duck on a boat, and which I confess my brother gave me, and I set it to this tune, which I thought was rather marvellous, and it's gone, so I can only assume that the artist has now removed the song from YouTube, and therefore my short had to go down, but I didn't have any notification. Happy to report that the electrics, it's got that ping back. So when you were trying to pull that pull cord, there was just not that ping. He did actually explain how it worked in comparison to the newer version. And if I'm honest, it went in one ear, out the other, and straight over my head. A little bit when I spent about 30 minutes trying to work out how things are earthed. I read different websites and I gave up because it didn't matter how many times I read it, I still couldn't quite understand. So what I would say is if you are living in a property and your electrics are a little bit old, do get an electrician out to double check. If you've got any naked cords, wires, people, do get somebody out to check them out. If I see a ghost, I can tell you very well I will not actually be staying. I will have run to my car. I'm staying on the proviso only that I don't see any ghosts. I will try and go down to Rye before then and do the ghost story. Can't believe how many of you are literally watching as I just walk back. It is a beautiful evening though. It's now 7:44, which of course is ridiculous because I haven't eaten my dinner. Actually, what's more ridiculous, I don't know what I've got for my dinner. What's that noise? I think we've got a boat coming. Shall we wait? Let's see who's there. Well, that's a duck. I know the difference between a duck and a boat. Come along, I can hear you. Maybe it's... Wait for it. Wait for it. There you go. Well, that's not exactly the luxury cruiser I was expecting. And amusingly enough, I had just as I stepped off it's called Out of the Blue. Just as I stepped off, had a bike go by, so I'm lucky I didn't stand in front of him. Now that's what I call a log. I'm sure you would all love for me to see a ghost. But I apologise, but that is not on the agenda. I had nightmares last night as it was, and I haven't seen a ghost. Got something else for you all to be excited about, bit of a spoiler alert. But you know, you've seen all those creatures. So you've seen elephants that have been arrived in town centres and then they auction them off. Well, I've only got Shaun the sheep coming to Maidstone. Oh my goodness gracious, I cannot tell you how excited I am. I'm fairly sure Tish will literally be as excited as me, but she's not here, so she won't know. So this will be my test of how to actually find the Shaun the sheep before I actually do the tour, because none of us need to be on a tour with me getting hideously lost. But I'm very excited. Some of the, we had Elmer the elephant back in 2021 potentially. Oh, you've gone very South African there, Nikki. I'd ask for my money back. Sorry, that was absolutely dreadful. Absolutely dreadful accent there. Right, we're going to walk through the fairy garden again. Elaine's fairy garden. Very, very excited to have met Elaine. Elmer's in Blackpool. It's a long way for me to go. I love Shaun the sheep. I've got a Shaun the sheep. Well, I've got probably two Shaun the sheeps. One where his legs go back and forth, and the other one where his legs don't move. If we were caught short, we could nip to the loo. I'm quite sure there's quite a few pigeons that go in there and nick our food. Yes, you're not a dove, are you? Yes, he flew off because he knew. He knew he's a pigeon. To be fair, it doesn't matter. These are beautiful, aren't these beautiful? Oh, delicious. I mean, not delicious as in eat them. How wonderful that she does this. This must take a lot of her time as well. Oh, look. I'm sure these two. I'm sure. Right, I'm going to be savage. That's the last you'll see of me. Hello, puppies. Hello. Hello, puppy. Hello. Hello also, puppy. Yes, you're sniffing my bottom. That's not socially acceptable. We've only just met. Well, I mean, I forgive the dog, but you would have thought the owner would have apologised on his behalf. And there we are. We are back at the start. So thank you to everybody who's attended. Thank you everybody who's liked. Thank you everybody who's everybody. Thank you everybody who's able to support me with a little coffee, book, banana. I'm going to turn around to me just to ruin the stream completely. I might actually go and take some photos of those flowers because they're so wonderful. Thank you so much everybody, and hope to see you very soon. I will flip the camera around so just so you had your last view is not of me. And hopefully I'll see you again very soon. Yeah, you too, Matthew. I hope everybody is well. Take care. Bye-bye.